into the final match of the night, and I don't think we're going to have to wait too long for this one. Apparently, we are all guns a-blazing and prepared in the lobby. Thank you very much for the last two teams, GELIDA and Hasib Warriors, for making this one happen. But it's been an interesting old night. Unfortunately, it has been a pretty standard night in terms of the wins, guys. Who's there? Who's there?
No one, apparently.
Just T. T who? T, you don't need to worry about it. T, you just don't need to worry about it, because anything sticking out to you from the performances tonight?
Well, the matches so far have gone in line with predictions. It's important to note that match number 1 is probably a little bit closer than it otherwise should have been. Fury playing that match with their coach in as a substitute. But outside of that, it's been, pretty much expected path of the course. And leading into match number 4, could this be the moment where South Asia finally beat SEA?
Xenox?
I already said no. I said it. I don't have to answer him because I already said it before he even finished his sentence.
I didn't want to have to say it for him. Hasib take on GELIDA in a game that I am almost 90% sure is going to be a very, very big, tough uphill battle for Hasib Warriors. Unfortunately, the only team so far to not grab a single point from their opening 3 matches. Jake, it's a tough sell.
There's 2 things I want from this game, Rob.
Oh, I love it. Give me those 2 things, Jake.
He's cooking up
the first thing, and you'll agree with me, is no chalet. Please.
I agree.
We don't need the full sweep.
Already agree.
The second thing is no border, because Hasib have played it twice and lost it twice, and I'm following in the footsteps of the wonderful James Dev Stewart. Don't go to border, go somewhere else. And there's a third thing, bonus.
Oh, bonus round, baby. You have just hit the jackpot.
Win. I want them to win. Is there anything wrong with that? I think Hasib Warriors winning here would be great for the South Asia region. Then they're running out of chances, both them and Knock Knock. There's only so many more games remaining for the group stage that it is, and if they find themselves in the bottom 2, then they're out of the tournament altogether and won't even get an opportunity come playoff time. So I'd love to see a bit of an upset here, but I do love the GELIDA boys as well, and I think they're going to be far too good.
Now, speaking of love for the GELIDA boys, how about we get their faces up on screen? Guys, this roster has, I guess, kind of stumbled a little bit. I mean, stumble is probably a very hard word to use, but mainly I'm probably looking to their loss against Elevate that maybe has brought the only question mark from the start of their stage. Obviously, beating Fury in Playday 1 set them up quite nicely. Where are we? Not where. What are we expecting from this team? Are you worried at all heading into this game, being the favorites, that maybe there's going to be that little, that devil on the shoulder?
Not really. I think they've shown already throughout the stage that in a one-sided matchup, they can produce a one-sided result. We saw that yesterday against Daystar 7-1 over on Chalet. Confident in that fashion. And don't forget, these guys took down Fury in Fury in Playday 1 in overtime, not in Elevate. They did lose to them. So yeah, very intrigued to see if they can produce a similar result against Daystar. This should be, by all accounts, a one-sided match. And their players that we expect to do well have been so far at this stage. Sapper, one of those, 111 EPS. That cost also pretty generous as well. So I don't have any concerns for GELIDA heading into tonight unless they absolutely throw the veto, but their map pool should be deep enough anyway.
Well, let's go ahead and have a look at the veto to see whether they have in fact thrown. Jake, did I hear you giggle? Oh, hello. That's not going anywhere.
The wrong team did it though, but we'll take it. So one more left, and it's Chalet that needs to get banned out at some point. We're all riding on Team Chalet getting banned here. Everyone surely we don't need a fourth one.
Hasib.
My drillers.
Well done.
Let's go. Up the Warriors. I don't even know where we're going. Clubhouse, is it? Yeah, clubby.
Yeah. Look, I think it's going to be a very tough sell, no matter who you are, how good of a salesman you are. Hasib Warriors go into this well and truly the least favored in this matchup in particular, but maybe some structure might help Hasib work together a little bit more, try to bring things back into that conversation of competition like we saw in their first 4 rounds against Bliss. But guys, I mean, are you hopeful? Is there any hope left now that we see the veto?
Well, I mean, cross-referencing it to the Oregon matchup, which is probably the closest map in terms of Clubhouse and the way that it's likely to at least play out. That was the 8-6 victory that GELIDA got over Fury, so I anticipate much of the same here. It should be a clinical match from GELIDA. Starting side may compromise things a little bit if they have to attack first, but I would put it past them to have a strong attacking half anyway. So nothing changes in terms of the veto, and again, expecting a one-sided affair. Hasib, in the past, to be fair, in that bleed game, we're able to throw some things into the server, but it didn't have longevity, so they might be able to get off to a good start. But in the long run, over the course of this game, GELIDA well and truly have their match.
All right. Well, I'm gonna make this nice and short. Oh, we're gonna club.
Hi, James. Hi, James.
Hey guys, sorry, I'm just finishing some toast. Is that all right with you guys? Because I'm feeling toasty and ready for a game. Mandy, are you excited for this one?
Yeah, I'm keen for this one. It should be fun, I think. And it's not Chalet. That's all that matters to me, to be honest. I think we've seen a lot of Chalet tonight, and yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
we have seen a lot of Chalet tonight. And now we're going to Clubhouse, which is probably one of my favorite maps. It can be a very exciting map if we see teams do a lot of playmaking on attack. Otherwise, it can be a very standard, bog standard map. But it is one of the staples of Rainbow Six Siege. Really, it comes down to Oregon and Clubhouse. These are the two most fundamental maps that test your siege. And right now, my God, it is Hasib's Warriors who will be tested. GELIDA have exceeded expectations this season by taking down Fury, the reigning champs, in their opening game. Of course, since then, it hasn't been super easy. They lost to Elevate, but GELIDA have a big chance to rack up some massive points. Now, Hasib's Warriors looking for their very first point, and they will need to take down one of the most famous rosters in APAC Rainbow Six to do it.
Alrighty, here we go for GELIDA. And I think, like you've been pointing out, these guys have got a lot of history to them. They're, this 5 is a big name, especially in this region. And I feel like very much they should be contesting for that top spot, right? Like, not only do they want to make playoffs, but I think with their performance historically through stage 1, they should be really in the top contention. And Hasib Warriors is hopefully just a small hurdle that they're able to get over.
I'm just enjoying the face cams. I always do for these GELIDA guys. It's so nice that they have managed to... Oh, is that the old Elevate logo? Where the Elevate logo used to be on the wall that they've now just slapped a massive GELIDA logo? Is that what's going on?
I wouldn't be surprised.
If so, that is absolutely baller, and I love it.
That's really funny.
That is very cool. Yeah, and I just love seeing these guys playing in their team house. Of course, a big story for this roster is they were without an organization for quite some time, and it's fantastic that they finally have an org that supports them, and funnily enough, has just got them back in the same team house they used to be when they were under the Elevate roster. Of course, IDFC is the new player, the one that wasn't on that old Elevate roster. And he's been pretty hot. Now, as we've seen the bans pan out, Haid and Tube both banned out, Mandy, so a lot of hard breach counter has been removed from the table.
Yeah, that's quite tough for Hasib Warriors starting out on... Oh, sorry, actually, yeah, for the attack, it's... Never mind, makes it easier for them with some of that being banned out, right? Not only that, but Thatcher Maverick slipping through the ban phase into the attack as well will make opening some of the hatches and walls easier as well. So I think, yeah, for Hasib Warriors starting out on the attack, it should be fairly smooth sailing, at least through the early to mid-round, so at least work the map. Of course, there are other struggles, of course, leaving in stuff like Eurozami, which is being brought up by IDFC, and then Solos to go and roam the map will be some of the other challenges they face through the early round.
Curious how aggressive we'll see Sapper play, already taking down one of these drones outside the building on Solus. Very good, very solid. Want to eliminate as many drones as possible. Prep phase to enable that roam, and I believe we will see a bit of a roam here. I think the Legion, the Mute, and the Solus are fantastic for that roam, and we've even seen this Moto hatch opened up as well. So a lot of fall-off routes available for GELIDA. Very aggressive spawn peek. Is he going to punch it? Yeah, he is. Wow, this is really nasty, and it could net an early pick. A little bit of damage. Zdux on the re-peek actually gets the better at DCH, so an early spawn peek thwarted, and good start for Hasib Warriors.
Alright, here we go. So, with one pick taken care of, the cautious game being played early on, they are now looking to work the CCTV wall. 8 charges on there, but there is a Mujammer on the other side to meet them. Now GELIDA have gone for a pretty extended roam despite it being down in the basement, so if Hasib Warriors want to dedicate themselves to clearing this out, at least opening the wall, creating a point of entry, or at least a cutoff here is quite important. Dinny, though, having found control inside a garage, will get his boots in the building and will be the first point of contact for the attack.
Ooh, that's a huge amount of damage on that wallbang. Don't think Din would know it, but Sapper's been taken very low. He's looking to play his life, however. Oh, he spots the info. He knows there's a player on rafters, but he knows he's also cut off from outside on the platform. He's going to wait for Din to swing. And he's hoping that that drone hasn't seen him. I don't think it has. On the swing now. Oh, perfect timing for Din, and a 2-player advantage very early on for Hasib Warriors. Forces IDFC now to get aggressive as well.
All right, Mr. Punch on the other side. Still in the top floor, in fact, does take down
Oh!
Z-Dux. Wow, nice one-tap as well onto Hasib. There's a third one inside of Logi. He could surely get this one, and he does. Another headshot, but finally taken down. There goes Din,
No!
but a C4 instantly collects him. And Doctor's left the game. It's all falling apart. GELIDA win the first round. Oh my goodness.
That was just from bad to worse for GELIDA, for Hasib. They had the first pick, they counted the spawn pick, then they got the second pick.
Oh my god.
And then, piece by piece, it was Mr. Punch, right, on the Goyo, just absolutely farming upstairs. And then the last player DC'd. Oh, man.
The game literally thought that Doctor didn't deserve to be in the server because of how bad the roam clear was. And they
I reckon he
sent him
just
straight
alt
out.
forward. I reckon he is like, my team's terrible, let's just...
Oh my god. Wow.
Oh, man. Jokes aside, that is so hard to swallow for Hasib Warriors because, man, they really should have won that round after getting a 2-player advantage at the start. They really fed that Roma, though. They really fed Mr. Punch, and, yeah, they got punished for it.
Oh, that is hilarious. I don't know. I'm so sorry. The way that round ended was just absolutely comical. Mr. Punch, after taking down 3 people, finally gets taken down by the 4th. That player instantly dies to a C4, and then we lose the 5th player from the server completely. That is ridiculous. That is one way to start off a match.
Pure comedy. That was a really gnarly shot right there. I actually thought he was going to get the next one for a second as well.
Oh no. It's so sad.
And here's a replay of the final kill. Beautiful. So well played.
Oh dear. Oh my. That is all. Dev. You know what? I feel like we prefaced that one pretty well, talking about the bans, in all honesty. We were saying that, you know, like all your anti-hard breach has been banned out and all your Thatcher Mavericks been left in, which means that, you know, the bomb site's not super safe for the defense, but the roam is pretty dangerous. And then they played a roam. And they played it really well. And they won. That was cool.
Yeah, I mean, did they play it really well? We had a spawn peak die, and then we had Sapper like get into an unsalvageable position. I think it was just Mr. Punch that played it well. And the C4 was good.
Ah, yes, not wrong. That is a fair argument.
I don't know, I'm just looking to be devil's advocate. I didn't call myself Dev for no reason.
Ha ha ha. Very funny.
I'm really all about the bad puns today. How are you feeling? What do you think? Is it working? Is it fitting me
our puns
well?
have been alright, honestly, all
Oh,
things considered.
wow.
There's definitely been worse, I think, for sure.
Worse from me or just worse in general?
No, worse from you, I reckon. Absolutely.
shit.
There have definitely been some where it's like, oh dear. Oh no.
Yeah.
Then
well,
again, I feel like I
I
can
tend
say
to
the
have that
same thing
effect on
about me
people.
too. I feel like my humor's pretty like,
what
I don't
humor?
even know how to describe. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh god, you've really thrown me there, hey?
Oh, Mandy.
It's not good.
I mean, what happens in the rehost, like, it doesn't count. We're rehosting right now.
No, it doesn't.
Apparently, he's almost back. It was Doctor, and we can't... He's in!
Is it?
Yars come out in chat. Hell yeah, we are back in. And Hasib Warriors, unfortunately, after losing the opening round, look to recompose.
Yep. Hopefully they do. That was a pretty rough start, all things considered, to the series. I mean, it's great from our perspective. We had a lot of fun watching that one, but I don't think they did when they were attacking it. So, let's hope that in this round, 1, they get all 5 players in the server and they stay in the server. And that 2, hopefully they can win it too. That'd be good.
Be nice, eh?
That'd be nice.
Must be nice.
Alright, we're going over to gym and bedroom for GELIDA, and it does look like they're looking to pretty much hunker down in the bomb site with a small extension over in CCTV and cache. A lot of construction for them to be able to achieve this setup, but nevertheless I don't think it's anything too special. On the side of the attack though...
Thank you, Cthulhu, for that free cam.
Wonderful.
Very nice.
There's a lot of silly things on Clubhouse. Last time that I was in the
Yeah.
free cam, I was going around reading all the the newspapers and like letters and
Ah.
stuff. And yeah. I was going around reading everything in the map. It was good. It was fun.
That is very cool.
There's
I
a
like
lot on
that.
this map. Lots of free cam potential on this map. That's all
There
I
you
will
go,
say.
Cthulhu. We're loving it so far. Keep it up. And Hasib need to keep up the pace they set at the start of the round prior. Unfortunately, they were unable to convert. Little breach going out on the external con wall is nice, but the mute jammers make that slow and difficult.
There's no Thatcher or Maverick. Like,
Oh, how on earth are they going to get that?
oh, I guess they have baby EMPs. Hey, they can get rid of mute jammers, and that's about.
The doctor's
But then
gone over.
he's got to go and use them.
He's gone and
Yep.
went and did that now. Very
Yep,
good.
yep,
Good
yep,
for
yep.
him.
Oh, has
Uh-huh.
he? I mean,
Where did
he's
he
all the
use
way in
that baby
garage, mate. Like,
He did use one. I don't know. I saw it. He used one. I don't know where he threw it.
so that con wall can't be opened because the EMPs are in the wrong spot. Oh, actually, it doesn't matter, right? Because they can. Oh no, they can't get it through vertical. Interesting. So now they're a bit stagnated here on the attack, sort of struggling a bit to cut off these players by not having the con wall open. But at least they have entry in through CCTV.
Seemingly trying to focus on just clearing this as Army and IDFC as well on the Frostverse, and in fact they do get the down onto IDFC, and the finish now from Zdux, nice. He's got the opening to kill both of these rounds so far. Mr. Punch looks for a swing in response, but nothing as of yet. So thankfully for Hasib, they actually have already got the main breach, the jacuzzi wall already open, like
That is
fully open breach. Yeah, very nice. And even though they haven't breached con, they have a pretty solid method here of clearing out Mark.
Cool, they're doing good here.
Big kill though, as Mr. Punch has done a good job of being baited by his teammate. He's actually going to go for a jump out here. Very ambitious from Mr. Punch. He had a big first round. He's looking to continue that form into the second. Hasib has now disconnected. It's not even Doctor this
Oh
time.
no.
Mark is in a really solid position. Doesn't land the shots he was looking for, but Sapper's now keen for a run out. There is a player on the balcony ready to watch his position. Zdux flashes himself. Carefully watching for this run out. GELIDA realistically don't have to make a move here. Taha's fighting a one-way angle. Sapper's taking down Zdux all up to Taha, and you simply cannot win against that one-way angle without clearing the Kiba. And so GELIDA have a second round.
Yeah, a little unfortunate there for Hasib once again, having a player smited out of the lobby. And then, yeah, GELIDA from there holding on pretty well. Yes, IDFC goes down, but by the time that he did go down, they had already thrown 2 bodies for the cause. Equal trades, of course, but then on the side of the defense, they just held on to the power positions that they really needed to be honest. The Azami barricade making it pretty hard to enter in through con, despite having cash control, despite putting that pressure out from the balcony. Playing the crossfire as well. Sapper finds his one on the window, and it all just fell into place for GELIDA.
Indeed it did. And grim signs. I mean, that's 2 rounds that have been 4v5s now, at least at the end of the round for Hasib's Warriors. And of course, that means we do have to get Hasib back into the lobby. We'll be back in just a moment with the game ready to go.
Bom dia, Sao Paulo! You have waited 5 long years for Siege to come back to Brazil. Now, Gimnasio do Ibirapuela is the home to the Hammer as we get set to write the next chapter in R6 Esports history. This is the 6th Invitational 2024. Vamos fazer barulho! Ventures Pro versus W7M!
No to tail can be told. They continue to push, they continue to seek, and they charge into the finals of 6th Invitational 2024.
The 6th Invitational 2024 starts right now. Face Clan, W7M, vamos fazer barulho!
And it's all falling apart for W7M once again, but it is happening for FaZe. One round away from cementing themselves as world champions. From 6-1 down.
Can W7M respond?
You wanted to fight him. We cannot. We know we cannot. Into red time. He can't finish it. He's no brother. Infinite overtime. It's upon us. We get it. We get it. This is how legends are created. Is this the moment where we can crown a new champion, a new dynasty to be created? And yes, we will. Yes, we will. W7s, they cement themselves as one of the greatest of all time.
Well, it's a 1 in 3 chance.
Thanks. Is that how this works? Is it? I thought there was.
Yeah, one of us should at least get it right.
I have no idea.
This is just a guess, because I actually don't know. I did not play any of the Rainbow Six games outside of
Alright,
Ready?
Siege.
someone's got it right.
3, 2, 1.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
We are back in the game! It's time to continue Hasib Warriors versus GELIDA Esports. We're currently 2-0 in favor of the favorites of GELIDA, who realistically, Mandy, should win this game quite handy. Wow, that was a rhyme I did not expect. But if they
impressed.
don't, thank
You
you.
spit bars.
Thank you. And now I'm going to struggle to finish the sentence. It's going to be like that meme of the little kid who's like, you ever have a dream? Where was I at? GELIDA. All right, yeah, good team, right? Hasib Warriors yet to find a point. So this is a big moment for them and for GELIDA as well. I think for GELIDA, if they want to gun for those top 2 spots, they just need to farm every one of these teams that is in the bottom half of the standings. That means putting this game to rest as quickly as possible.
Yep, absolutely, for these guys. They've looked pretty confident so far. Now, of course, the asterisk to that for Hasib Warriors is that they can't really seem to keep all 5 of their players in the server in the first place. So you'd think off the back of that GELIDA would be swell, and they certainly have been. I'm hoping that this round, I was going to say that this round we can keep all 5 of them, but immediately off the back of that, Sapra's going to find the first pick. Dinny, though, is able to get the refrag, so not a bad start here for Hasib Warriors.
Yeah. Yeah, not amazing, not terrible. I mean, we've seen Zappa die spawn picking twice now. But at least he got a kill this time around.
That is quite a frustrating keeper barricade to take down as well. The one that's just gone on the garage door. It's not super easy to go and punch that one out, but nevertheless there's a sledge, so that'll be okay. Okay, they're working on the CC2 goal. That's pretty good.
What's the play just opening a bottom line like this? Like, you actually trick, most teams trick the right-hand side. Why would you... Oh, they actually want to use thermite.
Do it the other way.
Yeah, he's done it. So, yeah, we've seen this a bunch recently. If you flip so that you place the the base of the thermite charge, like your feet, facing the bottom of the wall, then like it blows up more. So that's a vault, which sucks.
That is okay. You know, the base of the thermite charge is more explosive for anyone watching this. Take that into your ranked games if you're a thermite player. I don't think any ranked player is playing thermite, I'll be honest, but you know, nevertheless. Just in case, fun fact, put your thermite charges the right way up because the bottom explodes more. Anyway, now looking for garage control. With the wall being opened up, no, it might not be an entry hole, but it is a line of sight, and that's what's important here for clearing out rafters.
Attackers recover the diffuser.
Perfect operator to play this position as well, with the ACOG and the util to support as well. Very tough here for Hasib's Warriors. Oh, that was an opportunity that went begging. DCH over peaked at top red. Taha almost found the pick. And it does feel like Hasib's Warriors are essentially waiting for a pick at this juncture. Wow, Mark's getting very aggressive. He's likely to find one here. No, in fact, the sledge is ready for a great read from Z-Dux there. But Mr. Punch does finish off Tahoe, who I believe was just on the balcony outside CCTV. IDFC is in the perfect position, though, to cover off this spot. He is feeling a little bit of pressure. Oh, perfect timing on the player on the vault on through. And now it is a 3v1, which IDFC can claim just before the C4 detonates. Another very convincing, solid round for GELIDA.
Yeah, absolutely. Clean one, I think, from GELIDA. Yes, it got a bit messy with the attempted spawn peek, and yes, he did find a pick of it. Traded a few picks back and forth, but essentially once it came down to that 3v3 situation, I think they held their ground in rafters. Hasib looking to try and make a clear work with the Capitao and some good entries, but I think the crossfire being held from the position on the window, and of course, you know, the Wamai with the ACOG is quite a lethal combination in that position as well. So Hasib Warriors still struggling on their third attack attempt.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Yeah, despite managing to get a kill off of that spawn peak as well. I think it's going to be quite hard here on the basement bomb site as well in this next round. Not only was the roam clear turbulent for Hasib's Warriors, but we never really got to see them tested in an execute fashion, which is typically even more difficult. So GELIDA are playing with a lot of confidence right now. We've seen Sapper spawn peak most rounds. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that continue. Obviously, Mr. Punch top fragging. He had a big moment in the very first round. Has he actually still got the? I saw he had the Vector. Was I wrong there? He was running the. No, he's running TCSG again. Yeah, he ran this in the first round and absolutely killed with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty lethal so far, and I can only imagine it will continue to be. And also, in this lineup that you've currently got, having something like a TCSG is a bit of a necessary evil for construction, in general, or destruction rather, when you don't have stuff like your smokes and your mutes to go and do that for you. So running TCSG is a good substitute for that.
Setting breach charge.
Here to see how this clear works for Hasib Warriors. The spawn peak I've identified as of yet. Doctor seems to be one of the first in the building. I'm not actually sure how many roamers we've got. I see at least 3
I don't think there are any, no?
Are we fully... No, okay, so Mr. Punch is just playing staircases. Yeah, it looks like GELIDA might be playing a boring style this round, but it's boring for a reason. It's very effective. And you have 5 on site. 1, 2, 3,
Oh, there's a player in bar.
Is that DCH in bar, is it?
I think so.
Yeah, he is. Okay, there you go. Well, maybe they are going to... So maybe, like, Mr. Punch is going to shoot a drone. Oh, never mind. DCH got droned. He's going to fall back. Of course, he can play for C4s. They can also play for late flanks using the Valkyrie cameras that they might have available.
Alright, so all of GELIDA have decided they've got enough value of intel out of this roam game. 3 drones have been shot out of the 10 available to Hasib Warriors, and they think they've wasted enough time, which is fair enough with 1 minute and 30 seconds left to go. All the hatches are still closed. C4 is prepped for DCH on the side of the Valkyrie, which does make me nervous.
Dang.
And yep, he takes down ZDoc straight away, trying to enter in through kitchen or through the hallway. I actually have no idea where that one detonated in the end, but nevertheless, that is your vertical operator down.
Oh yeah, it was in the hallway indeed. Like you said, that does restrict the vertical capability for Hasib's Warriors, losing the buck. Hatch still soft. Oh, sorry, solid, I should say. Hasib has plenty of util to clear that, but they're tunnel visioning now, like they're worried about these Valkyrie cameras. No more C4s on the board, but yeah, time is just not going to be on their side. They're going to be dropping into a very powerful setup featuring Benriz, FNATs, Vulcan canisters, even some Q mines potentially, and the Azami's Keepers, and time is continuing to dwindle as these impacts continue tricking this hatch. Now, Din has found a good pick here on the main stairs against an over-aggressive DCH, but it might not matter at this juncture. Hasib's Warriors don't have a numbers advantage, and wow, the site is just completely fire.
They are certainly running out of time with only 24 seconds left to make this execute work. Saba is in a great position with the vertical game not having been played. He can just sit in the back of Arsenal and anticipate that hatch drop to come through.
He is trying to contest. He's being pressured as well. He does find his pick though on a Din, and that is the diffuser dropped as well. Less than 7 seconds to go. Mr. Punch has found his pick. It is absolutely disastrous once again for Hasib's Warriors, as time was simply not on their side.
Yeah, I mean, once that vertical operator had gone down, the Buck not being able to vacate that position inside of Arsenal by opening up the floor inside a kitchen, Sapper found a really great spot to sit in. Yes, they did try and flush him out with like a little bit of bullets through the floor, but ultimately, once the execute did come through, he was just able to loiter around down the bottom of the hatch. Even off the back of that, the push that came down from the bottom main stairs was shot down pretty handily, and even if there was any pressure on the side of blue, there was crossfire on that as well. So GELIDA holding on with the remaining time that they had left, which was only about 20 seconds once the execute had come through. Just playing the disciplined game, good crossfires, good positioning, they win out the round.
The recipe for success, to be honest.
Yep.
For Hasib's Warriors, I'm trying to figure out like what is it that they need to look at for the next few rounds. Because you can see they're trying so hard. In fact, in a way, they're almost trying too hard, I think, Mandy, because they're trying to like do everything. They're trying to hunt these Valkyrie cameras. They're trying to do this. They're trying to do that. And as a result, they are missing some of the expediency that perhaps they require to play against GELIDA when GELIDA have so many layers to their defense.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Like, to me, looking at the way that Hasib Warriors are playing, they don't look that well drilled in their plan, I think is the main thing that I would point towards, to be honest. Like, it looks like they've got like the fundamentals of this is what you need to do to play Clubhouse in their mind, but I think the way in which they're going about it just doesn't look, you know, that well practiced. And I think especially when you're going down to a basement, you're routing for your own players and playing the mini games, like where you're going to open up the hatches from, how you're going to play the vertical safely, just like small things like that, like small micro things that you can drill pretty well, like, you know, dry runs and scrims, don't seem to be that developed, I think, for Hasib Warriors. And GELIDA are just really like outclassing them on small things, I think. And yeah, especially on Clubhouse where the small things really add up.
I'd be inclined to agree. And in this round, for example, another small thing is the fact that we've got the Bandit Juggler. How will Hasib Warriors deal with this? They've elected not to go for a Maverick this round, which just makes their life so much harder. It takes so much effort to try and expose this. And, well, Mark has just found a double, I believe. Yeah, that was inside of CCTV, and now he has asserted dominance over this balcony here. Is he going to be punished? He really needs to be punished. Like, just keeping him at bay is not enough. They do need the kill. They have confirmed it. Good work from Doctor. And one player still an advantage for GELIDA, but Hasib Warriors have not completed a lot of the checklist that they're looking for. The drone comes forward. IDFC peaks at the right time. Doesn't land his shots on the first swing, but does on the second. Taha caught lacking. A two-player advantage extended now for GELIDA, and to be frank, it's looking a little bit hopeless this round for Hasib, which is A damn shame because they desperately need this round. Going 0-5 down would essentially spell their demise. Oh, shots just missing for Hasib. IDFC in position to punish yet another kill if Doctor decides to jump in. His way forward, now moving on backwards, he gets some info. Now he's going to push. Now this could be the moment where Doctor makes this very, very winnable. Over peak, to overzealous IDFC. Just establishing a very solid crossfire. Almost impossible to lose this one, and Mr. Punch goes aggro for one, traded on back. As the exothermic detonates, it's a 1v3 and a 1v0. There you go. GELIDA once again dominating 5 rounds straight, Mandy, and there's very little to say.
It's looking pretty grim for Hasib Warriors, I think, on a fundamental level of understanding Clubhouse, if you ask me. I don't know how much you would agree with this, Dev, but I feel like what Hasib were going for there, like not being able to get the jacuzzi wall open when there's so much available to you on the attack, and then looking to sweep the map, for example, you know, starting out on cash side, to me, it's that kind of play that you don't really just want to send 2 players in. Like, if you're going to go for a sweep across the map, you want to start on cash, you know, have a lot of your players there be willing to dump bodies, be willing to play the refrag, because, like, you know, ultimately clearing that half of the map is actually quite tough on Clubhouse. And yeah, you know, being willing to feed the 2 picks into Mark, who just held a pretty strong position in that spot inside the server, and then being able to take them both down, to me is just the mark of Hasib maybe not having that well thought out attacks, to be honest. But for me, the big red flag was definitely, you know, not being able to open up jacuzzi, especially with the lineup that they could potentially have on the attack. Thatcher's in. That's exciting. Yes, Doctor's picked Thatcher.
I don't know, I still would have liked the map. I'd like to see the map trick.
I don't know, Dev. Especially
This is
after
so
our last conversation about C4s and Maverick on Chalet. I gotta say,
Yeah.
I feel like these days, it's, you know, it requires a lot of finesse to make Maverick work on Clubhouse, I think. Because there's so many walls that you need to open. You know, it might not be the same case for hatches, but trying to play the trick game against C4s that can be so easily lined up now is a little scary, and I feel like if Thatcher's in the lineup, I feel like you may as well use it, right? And yes, you have to play the trick game, but like, it's less dangerous, in theory, right?
Yeah, in theory. I don't know. At this point, like, just either one or the other. Like, just something to give, like, these easy wins. Like, Hasib Warrior just need a couple of easy wins, because, like, they are a good team. They know how to play the game, but when you're on game day and you're playing against a really solid roster, you're getting swung, there's so many things to think about. That's when a good team can look like quite a poor team. And unfortunately, Hasib's Warriors have come across as a poor team today, and I don't think that is deserving of their capabilities. So I want to see some free wins. Easy Thatcher Thermite. Don't know exactly how they're going to try and counter any potential bandit juggle, because they haven't brought the Zafir or anything else. Looks like they're looking for a little bit of cheese, so I don't know whether they've drone this. I assume they haven't, because Zedux is still pre-aiming corners. But yeah, Amaru just in very, very fast. He's made a bit of noise now as well, shooting that camera. So clearly something spicy is set up, and it may well work.
Dinny early on was holding onto a pre-place that was owned by Zedox, so I can only imagine he must have had a cam somewhere. Yeah, this is the one here in Master. So of course, there could have been someone on the main stairs off the back of that camera, but there was no one inside of Master. It was clear. So from there, good control on the other side of the map. Meanwhile, this minigame is happening over on the CCTV wall. Unfortunately, that first exothermic charge hasn't even gone on, because the bandit has gone back on, and they used all of their impacts, so they've got to pivot to the other side of the map and try and get con open instead.
Yeah, Zedux, like, his entire purpose of, like, being unpredictable, it's been completely revealed now. Time's ticking away. There's a really nice piece of barbed wire. Notice how the barbed wire is actually, like, really deep towards him. It does mean it's very hard for them to for him to get close. It does allow GELIDA to play a bit more aggressively. Speaking of, never mind, I was going to say it's a free kill, but it was actually Hasib who finds it, so that's a good one. Mark's got an amazing position to play with this Kiba protecting him. He's also using Kibas to protect the hole in the wall above him, so he's not vulnerable to grenades. He can do some serious damage from this position.
Yeah, absolutely. From here on out, it's very hard for them to get this wall open. Yes, they could go and play the vertical to try and kill this bandit charge, but Mark being so active in this position is going to make that hard as well. The vertical, of course, is a two-way fight. That being said, that bandit charge has just gone off the wall, so if DCH doesn't get over there quickly, that wall will be opened up.
Right, win condition is okay, never mind. The swing, potentially from Mark. The Blitz is still alive. But there's Fenrir's gadgets in the site will make it difficult to execute. In goes the Blitz. One big kill for Hasib. Brings the numbers even. Sapper is stunned, but he can't confirm the kill. Neither player can do so. DCH comes around the corner, and the Blitz eventually falls. Hasib jumps straight in, but there's nothing for it. One kill perhaps. He will have to ace up in order to claim this round for his team. Smoke in pocket as the one in the field dissipates.
15 seconds left.
Does have the ability to use that to zone these into different 1v1s. Bit of damage. Oh, big kill.
No way.
Time to ace up. The captain of the team, everything comes down to his shoulders, but DCH says, you are dreaming. 6-0 for GELIDA.
That was a close one. You know what? That was the closest one that we've seen all game long. It just came down to a 1 versus 1 somehow from the 1-on-3. And unfortunately, Hasib, the captain himself, does not win that one out. Bit of a tough loss to swallow there for Hasib Warriors. It felt like they actually might have made a dent into the series, but not to be done. GELIDA are looking pretty solid.
6 match points in a row, Mandy. And Hasib's Warriors took their tactical timeout before that round, by the way. Before that round, and so now they move on to their attack, or rather defense.
5 seconds left. Attackers
No, it's rough. Really rough for Hasib's Warriors. This is yet another incredibly one-sided affair. And you look at their stage so far, the very first game, they got 4 rounds against Bleed in a row. And then they got reverse swept 7 in a row, yeah, sure. But then they got 3 rounds off of Direwolves. And then they almost pushed to overtime against Knock Knock. Realistically, that was probably their best chance to get any points this stage. I think maybe they'll have a decent shot against Daystar, but you never know. Daystar are pretty competitive, and I hate to say it, but if Hasib's Warriors can't pull things together before the end of the stage, like they could end up going not only winless, but potentially pointless for their 7 games, and of course they would not qualify for playoffs in that scenario. So this is a really rough slog that Hasib Warriors are finding themselves in. On the flip side, GELIDA, a second dominant game in a row after 7-1ing Daystar yesterday, is exactly what the Doc ordered after losing to Elevate and getting no points from that game.
I'm inclined to fully agree with you, to be honest, Ev. I think there are some pretty big changes, in my opinion, that could be made for Hasib Warriors to even just look competitive, I think, in some of these games, especially on this Clubhouse map. There is so much stuff that can be dry run early on. There's so many scenarios, especially with like the combinations of hard breach and anti-hard breach, and whether Maverick's in or out or Thatcher's in or out. There's so many ways that they could be like dry running like the Thatcher Zofia combo, or putting Capital in the mix, or putting grenades into the mix to try and open up walls. But they're just making it so hard for themselves, Devs. That's what I'm trying to say here. By not having some of these things drilled out, and by not having a plan before going into it, they're making maps like Club very hard for them to play. And against a team like GELIDA, who kind of just know what to do, it's pretty grim looking. Nevertheless, they have managed to find the first pick of this round. But Mr. Punch going down early, I'm not exactly sure from where, but nevertheless, they've fully forfeited map control now. So vertical game can start to be played for GELIDA. The hatch can start to be opened as well, even though there are impacts on the other side of that. Eventually, this will be opened up with the time that they have remaining.
Xerx needs to be careful not to overpeak, and yeah, he's actually going to let the hatch open up. Doctor was tempted to come over and use his impact, but of course, just with the soft reach and vertical available from GELIDA, it's very risky to try and contest. Now, this is a very solid setup from Hasib Warriors. You've got late round util. Basically, every one of these operators will help late round util, fortifying these positions, making it very hard to crack in, and GELIDA have to be careful with the timing, but that's why it comes down to capitalizing on what time they have left, and they do have quite a lot right now. They need to make their move. They go for the drop down the hatch. Sapper loses his life thanks to the boosted up spot from Zedux. There's no pressure from inside Dirt as Hasib still maintains dominance over that position. IDFC's about to drop. Flashes go down. He himself is flashed and taking hella damage. Mark needs to have an impact here from Blue, but Dinny is watching the angle. Mark does find his kill, but the trade comes through thick and fast. Doctor on the floor, and it's just DCH in a 1v3. Round in the corner. Player revived. He goes quickly in for it. Taha, he goes down. Another kill could go begging, but Dinny finds him. And finally, Hasib Warriors get a round on the board.
Yes, they've done it. I'm so proud of them. They did it on Clubhouse Basement. That's what you want to see. They get the first pick. They all fall back to the bomb site. They wait for the execute to come through. Sapper decides to drop the hatch before all the flashbangs have been sent through so they can see him clear as day. They find that easy pick of a power position. It's all looking good. That was good from Hasib Warriors. I'm happy. Very happy.
Yeah, it was probably the best. Well, it was definitely the best round that they've had yet, but I don't know, it was a bit of a weird one from GELIDA. Just dropping, I think we'll see it here. Like, there was not really a plan for this drop. And also, like, there's a Vulcan canister right beneath you. There was a whole minute left. Like, you could have, in theory, burnt that Vulcan canister before dropping. And, like, just waited out the time, looked to execute later. But I think they just were desperate, and they were a player down, so they thought, let's just go for it.
I think they got a bit impatient.
Yeah.
And then they went for it. But yeah, I agree with that. Especially Sapper, I think dropping without anything to enable that execute to happen.
Even a flash.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, when you try and convert from the ground floor into the basement, that's always the hardest part about the Clubhouse basement attack, right? Like, that conversion is never going to be easy. And if you're just trying to drop it down with, like, absolutely no flashbangs, which are, like, pretty vital on that bomb site, same with nades as well, to try and zone out positions, it's, you know, you're basically sending yourself into your death. So I think, yeah, GELIDA probably getting a bit impatient, jumping the gun there.
We even see some people drop with OSA shield, like just so that you hold it out. Like, there's so many ideas that you could bring.
Yep.
But they didn't. Anyway, moving on. Hasib Warriors have found their first round, and GELIDA are now looking to attack Gym and Bedroom. Sapper's actually here just on this really long angle. There is a roamer, as you can see from the pip on the bottom right, all the way downstairs. I don't think he's going to have much of an opportunity to do a lot from that position.
Ooh, there's a trick.
His IDFC is trying to bait out this bandit juggle, and he will save his exothermic charge from being destroyed, but he will need some support.
Oh, I think Sapper's killing him while he's going for this. What is happening? How is he taking damage from this position? Oh, yeah, he is.
Oh, wow!
Yeah. Wow, what a cutoff from Sapper. The Azami barricade just not quite high enough to actually protect the teammate of Hasib from being able to land that trick. And now with that being taken away, the wall has been fully opened up. The cutoff is there. Mr. Punch is looking to be the hammer to this anvil of the cutoff that they've just opened. And it's working out pretty well for GELIDA.
Mr. Punch has had a good game so far, but he's playing an unfavored angle. Zedux is in a really solid spot at the moment. Try and contest this. They scare off the player down red. Dinny is looking to go all the way down to the basement, joining his teammate of Valkyrie. If GELIDA knew about this, they would hit site right now. They've got the numbers advantage, and Dinny has been tracked all the way down to the basement, and that means that Sapper knows he can call to his team. Mr. Punch now making his move. Doctor is ready to receive in Logistic. The timing was just off for Doctor to see here. Mr. Punch ran in the corner. GELIDA look impatient. They look tantalized. They could explode onto site at a moment's notice.
Mr. Punch is just going to sit around here and wait for his teammates this time around to actually be postured for this execute. That is the conversion that we need them to see. But in the meantime, Zedux has just found the opportunity to go for the swing inside of Con and not only takes down Mr. Punch, but one of his teammates as well in Sapper. Man advantage now for Hasib Warriors on Gym and Bedroom. And not even cleaned back up by Mark. Zedux for a 3K in the round. He's finally downed by DCH, but he's in a pretty dire spot.
1v4 becoming a 1v3. He's just going to confirm the kill. No, he's actually not. The right way to play this would be to look to bait the kill somehow. He's confirmed it, but Doctor with a pre-fire gets Hasib Warriors their second round. I don't know, Mandy. Maybe there is a possibility here.
Are you a believer?
It's very early to call, but they were two pretty dominant defenses in a row.
Yeah, I mean, that is a fair enough statement, to be honest. That last one in particular, I thought was really good. Yes, they were on a pretty extended roam down in the basement, but I think the moment that they realized that GELIDA were about to hit the bomb site, they recalled everyone back in again. And to me, that's pretty good signs from Hasib Warriors. And then, yeah, by the time that execute did actually come through, Zedux found a great play, great timing in through Con for his 2K, and really sealed the deal. Great round for Hasib Warriors.
GELIDA really need to tighten up on their attacks. His attacks have been quite rough around the edges. Like, nice ideas. Like, I really liked, you called it, right? Sapper actually killing the player right where Doctor is now, who is trying to bandit juggle. It was not only a great way to open the wall, but also to find an early pick. But despite having 5v4, GELIDA still fumbled, 3 players in on the Z-Ducks. And yeah, a lot of work needs to be done on tightening that up. Wait a second, I just realized we're in bar. We've gone bar, Mandy.
Attackers are heading
Interesting.
This is, I don't remember the last time I saw this bomb site. Like, it's been experimented with a few times, and it has some validity, but really only if your other bomb sites are weak, I think, is it actually worth going to a site like this. And it seems Warriors have just had 2 convincing defenses. Surely they have a strong CCTV setup, and they don't need to experiment with bar. It feels desperate.
Is it desperate or genius? You know? Because...
Fine line.
The idea here, surely, right, is that because it's such like an out-of-pocket bomb site to go to, that GELIDA probably don't have an attack that is that well drilled, right? So, surely, if Hasib have got a really smart defense here, this could be another one that they could pull out of the hat. Maybe it's genius. That's all I'm saying. I'm wondering now, Dev, how this one's going to play out, right? Because, so Dinny's on the bomb site. He's Echo. This isn't typically where we would see the Echo here, right? Like, usually you want to like lean to the late game, try and hide your yokai and Echo in the yokai drones and yada that type of thing. But
the punch is actually snuck in here.
yeah, I was going to say, he's in a really exposed position, no?
Dini is actually likely the first one to fall here. Mr. Punch has actually gone down and didn't find his kill, so maybe it's possible that GELIDA have overstepped and overstayed their welcome. IDFC, great kill from him on Ataha. 3v3, but Dini holds firm on the site. Eventually traded on back, but a 2v2. Sapper has got the number of Hasib upstairs, but he's been flanked. What on earth is this round, Mandy? A 1 versus 2. So possible, so winnable for DCH, but there's so much information on the site. These yokais and the Valkyrie cameras will enable this retake. And now DCH is the one that's got to put the legwork in.
Dinny was just the bait, mate, but he's the bait that can shoot back. I'll tell you what, he held onto the bomb site for a very long time. 50 seconds left in the 1 versus 2 for DCH now. That's a fair amount of time. But it's not an easy spot to be in. There aren't that many places that are safe from the vertical. Oh, never mind. He's going to get the plant down. They have absolutely no idea that the plant is going down. Oh, and there we go. Now they've got...
Where are all the yellow pings?
Now
What?
Go...
No! GELIDA! DCH! How do you win it like that? The Capitals fire the 180. The game is over. A 1v2 clutch to win it in style in the post plant that never should have been allowed. I'm sorry for interrupting you, Manny, but I am bloody speechless for what DCH has just accomplished.
He's actually just roasted them. Like genuinely, literally roasted them in the server. That is ridiculous from DCH in the 1 versus 2. One goes down in the fire and the flames, and the other to a 180 kill. I mean, that is one way to finish the game. It finished about as chaotically as it began, Dev, if you ask me. That was pretty crazy.
I mean, let's have a look at that replay of that round, and particularly that last kill. Oh my god, look at this. Fire down, Z-Ducks immediately cooked. Yeah, immediately. And here's the free cam of it as well. Oh my god, he's just a beast.
That's incredible.
I don't know what to say about that other than like DCH. Hats off to him. That was a gnarly play. GELIDA, they didn't get the 7-0 they were looking for, but they certainly won. They certainly furthered a massive round difference, and they did it in style as well. And I'm sure the guys on the desk have a lot more to add.
It truly is our job to point out the obvious. GELIDA did win. It's incredible. I think that it probably could have been done much quicker than that, Guz. But look, you actually need to give credit to Hasib Warriors there. They come off the back of a 6-0 half, and they dig their heels in.
Yeah, on the primary sites, they actually didn't look all that bad, to be completely honest. You know, they were running some pretty default stuff. We saw some intriguing things as well, really centered around the Azami for the most part. GELIDA did an okay job dealing with it. It wasn't very comprehensive, and ultimately they didn't win those rounds out. But tertiary site, they get it done. Not the end of the world. You walk away with a pretty convincing victory in the end. And yeah, I think GELIDA will be pretty happy that a game that could have potentially been a little bit dangerous really wasn't at any point.
Look, we've got to talk about probably the bigger issue here for Hasib, Xenox. They're not finding points. They haven't been able to, and some of these games are rolling out of control in this round differential department. Is this play day 4? Is this potentially that nail in the coffin?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you're probably anticipating it will be another beatdown where, yeah, largely uncompetitive in the first half. 6-0 could have easily been, 7-0. A little bit of a fight back. I mean, it was there, but unfortunately, by that point, too little, too late. And also, when you take into account the side they're on, I think. I mean, they had their chance yesterday, right? They had to beat Knock Knock, and then from there, you had to find a win elsewhere, where that was going to be probably Daystar, second last play day. But by not being able to beat Knock Knock, they lose that opportunity. Looking ahead, they still play Fury, they still play Elevate, and they've still got GELIDA next week. Hard to envision where they're going to find that win outside of maybe a Daystar. It is what it is. I mean, it was always going to be a learning experience for the South Asia teams this particular stage. It's just a matter of what they can do in terms of taking the learnings and then applying that to improving for next stage. That's really the goal. I mean, you can somewhat accept at this stage. Next stage, though, less excuses.
Look, flipping the coin a little bit here to speak about GELIDA, guys. I feel like this is when we talk about really setting benchmarks for teams. Again, we always talk about beating the teams below you and keeping par with the teams above you. Do you feel like GELIDA are hitting that benchmark now? Do you feel like we have a good enough read? We've seen 4 games from them now. Do you have a good enough read to kind of get an estimate on them?
Yeah, I think they've very much cemented themselves mid-table. I don't see them pushing top 3. I'd probably slot them somewhere in between 4th and 5th currently. So, I mean, that's a positive, not a negative, because it means I'll be finishing top 6, and arguably the teams above them are far more established and experienced, especially at an international level for the most part as well. So, for GELIDA, they find themselves slotted in nicely. Which side of the bracket that puts them, I'm not entirely sure. I could probably very, very quickly scrub it. I mean, if they do finish 4th, 5th, that then means you get seeded into the first place matchup in the semi-final if you win that. So it's probably not the side of the bracket that you do want to find yourself on, but I think there's still positive takeaways from GELIDA that they're doing a good job. Obviously, they're going to want more, right? Every team wants to finish first. I don't think they're quite in that position yet, but they certainly have laid the foundations of a team that can continue to improve.
Well, we have IDFC waiting in the wings, so let's welcome him in. IDFC, congratulations on a very convincing victory. How are you feeling after 4 play days now? We've got a good read on you and the team.
Yeah, I mean, we are doing kind of pretty good here and like on the schemes, and we kind of got the same performance on the Leo tournament. Yeah, so we trying to elevate it up to make the performance better on the other play days.
IDFC, obviously, you guys got the win today. It was a pretty strong first half. It's always a bit difficult, I think, when you go up against South Asia teams as to what to expect. But, genuinely speaking, going into a game like this, how do you prepare for these South Asia teams? Do you give them the respect? I know, obviously, a lot of people from Southeast Asia are kind of looking at them as being the bottom 2 teams, but obviously you don't want to underestimate them.
So we actually we don't underestimate them and try to play the game as much as we try our best to make the result better. Yeah, so we just want to have a fun game and a competitive free game. No, so there's no underestimate against us and against them.
I think that's a good approach. Well, you're going to go from probably the easiest team today to next week taking on Bleed, the most difficult team in the region. How are you expecting that game to go?
I don't actually know how it is going to go, but it might be fun that day. I don't know. We gotta
Do you think
we
you
gotta
can
wait for
win?
it.
Do you think you can
Yeah,
win?
I think we can win. Actually, I think we can win.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah,
That's
team,
the
man.
big takeaway. Look, obviously, there's there seems to be a good team sentiment heading into these best of 1 stages. When we're looking at an overarching vision for the team, where do you think is realistic? Do you think GELIDA could be off to the major? Do you think that is in that realm?
I mean, in the playoff, we all can qualify for the major if we win or the team in the playoff. So yeah, we got a chance, we got a chance, but it is hard. It is actually hard, but we'll try our
Well,
best.
The thing is, IDFC, we've been saying that this is the most competitive region, and it truly is. You know, you've got five teams that are really pushing for that major spot now, so it is very competitive. We don't knock any of the teams in the top 5 for even, you know, talking about the fact that there's going to be a tough contest. Is there anything you'd like to say before we let you go for the night?
So yeah, thanks for the support from the GELIDA fans, and thank you. I love you all.
Thank you very much, that IDFC. We'll see you soon, mate.
Thanks, mate. Bye-bye.
Oh, I got a thanks, mate, back. That's what I'm talking
What a
about.
lad.
It's the small moments. It's the small moments in these leagues, and when I get a thanks, mate, back, that tops my night.